Lovely day, nice and warm.
It's freezing. It's -2 and I have just seen a brass monkey with a welding torch.
Brass monkey. Freeze the whatsits off a brass monkey.
The balls.
The balls off a brass monkey. Does anybody know what that means? And by the way, it is not a way of injuring monkeys. It's not. It's an old maritime saying. If you know what it is, put it in the comments below. Where are we?
Today we're at the Hatton Flight, which is on the Grand Union Canal.
Goodness me. This is lock 42. So she's right. It's Simon and Karen from Untitled Canals, and we're here today, freezing our toes off on the Hatton Flight. We're going to go up and down.
Just our toes?
Oh, well, might have to cuddle you later on, mightn't I?
Oh, yes.
So we've got some CNRT buildings over there. We've got a gynocorous Dragonfly over here, who's looking a bit cold. There's 21 locks in all. We're not going to see them all, but we're going to go to the bottom of the main part of the flight. It's a bit cold to do the lot. There's a cafe up there, Hatton Cafe. We're going to have a look at that. Or there's Hatton Arms, a pub. We could end up in the pub later on. Car parking's just over here. There's lots to see. We were here in the summer, weren't we? Well, it was late summer.
It was late summer. Late summer, early autumn, but the weather was lovely.
It was much nicer than it is now. So we might sneak in a bit of that footage later on, because it's a bit cold to get everything that we need. But let's crack on. Come on, let's get over. Dragonfly next, I think.
Yep.
This is lock 42, near the top. And it's a wide beam lock, capable of taking a 14-foot boat. The locks were widened by the Grand Union Canal Carrying Company. Work began in 1932. At a time when canal carrying was really suffering because of the competition from the railways. The new locks, the big wide locks, were built alongside the narrow locks, which are over here, sometimes on the left, sometimes on the right. But they were built primarily using the revolutionary new product, concrete. In 1932 they started 1,000 men up and down this lock flight and other lock flights on the canal. Began this magical transformation. This was opened 2 years later in 1934 by the Duke of Kent. Once opened, this canal doubled the amount of cargo carrying it could manage. 2 boats at a time, 2 narrow boats at a time, and either a powered boat and a butty towed behind could go in, or a single wide beam barge could go in, and the amount of transport massively expanded. It didn't last long. Up until about the early 60s, this canal came to, well, the trades came to an end around about the time of the winter of 1962-63. It's not as cold as that today, but the canal back then was frozen 6-10 inches thick. No boats went through at all, and that was about when it all ended. We're going to go and take a look at some of the narrow locks along the sides. Sometimes they're on the left, sometimes they're on the right. They built the wider locks in the best place possible. There's some great big pounds down here which are now a nature reserve. We'll take a look at those as well. We're going to go down to the bottom in a few minutes and work our way back up, filming as we go. Come along with us. The Hatton Locks, or Hatton Flight as they are better known, are a flight of 21 locks on the Grand Union Canal in Hatton, Warwickshire, England. From top to bottom is a little less than 2 miles of canal, and with a total rise of 148 feet, or about 7 foot per lock. You can still see many of the old brick-built narrow lock chambers beside many of the new, wider concrete locks. The Hatton Flight of Locks was known by the boaters as the Stairway to Heaven because of the hard work involved in the ascent, followed by an easy run to Camp Hill and the Grand Union Canal Carrying Company offices, which is where they were paid. It's a bit amusing that the Gota Canal in Sweden, which boasts 58 locks as it rises and falls across the countryside, is known as the Divorce Ditch. Away in the distance you can see the town of Warwick, and right in line with the locks is St Mary's Church with a truly impressive tower. The interior is just as impressive and is very popular with sightseeing tours. This canal was originally the Warwick and Birmingham Canal, and it was built mainly to carry coal to power stations and local factories. Here, just off the Middle Pound, Hatton Top Lock is an 18-minute walk. Warwick itself is 40 minutes. You've got the Warwick Parkway in about 33. This canal was also a vital trade link between London and the Midlands. The Birmingham Canal network itself allowed you to spread in all directions, and of course to the city of Birmingham itself. This protects the sluice paddle winding gear, so the two shaft that comes all the way up as you crank your handle up. Going to protect it and make it last. There's a great big grease port here for keeping it lubed up. There's two of these at every end of every lock on the Hatton Flight, and you can see them as you look away and look back up, if your cheeks aren't freezing up. Top left shows a wide lock, and the top right screen a disused narrow lock. The bottom screens show perfectly the difference in size and how they added the wide beam locks in the early 1930s. The impressive concrete improvement clearly shows in this montage of shots. These concrete lock structures, they're quite reminiscent of concrete pillboxes. They're even a bit like those on Normandy beaches. And to be honest, it's the same technology. It's concrete reinforced with metal to create a shape, to create a structure. But they're built to last. These will be here when I'm long and gone. Ah, dear me. Doesn't matter where you stand, it's cold. Here you can see the inset brickwork where the old lock gate used to go on what's left of the narrow lock of lock number 46. And as we pan left, we see the concrete structure of the new and modernised lock that was done in 1932 to 1934. This plaque at Lock 46 was put here by the Heritage Trust, and it states that Hatton Lock Flight is a transport heritage site. The flight is 21 broad concrete locks, a striking example of the 1930s modernisation of the London to Birmingham Grand Union Canal. And for more information, look at transportheritage.com. What was your question?
There's a single narrow lock there,
Yep.
and there's a double there.
Okay.
Why didn't they not keep the single and the double? In the summer, they've got that many boats going up and down.
Well, when this was a commercial canal, summer and winter didn't matter. The only time there weren't boats going up is when it was frozen too thick to get a boat through. Well, it's a really valid question. Why don't they have a single lock and a double lock? They were already here. My answer is, I don't know. Maybe it's because they'd fallen into disrepair. Bearing in mind those bigger locks, these were built in the 1930s, 1932 to 1934. It might well be that these were a bit dilapidated. It could be that maintaining both sets of locks was too much. I don't know. But it's a really good question. 3 boats instead of 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, could have done that.
If anybody knows, put it in the comment bar. I'd like to know myself.
If you know, please put a little comment in down below. Why didn't they keep the narrow locks and the double locks when they renovated these in the early 30s? Damn good question.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
I'm skimming stones.
It's not how you do it.
Look, I can do it. Ah! The ice helps.
This eye-catching, larger-than-life stainless steel sculpture of a dragonfly by Gideon Petersen is in a side pond just above Lock 22 on the Grand Union Canal. So this small boat was used to drive wooden piles into the bank to help strengthen it. And originally the boat had a wooden rig with a winch drum and a small engine operated by a foreman. The foreman would have sat in the boat with the deafening noise of the engine constantly in his ears and using a foot brake to stop the winch drum and holding a control lever to raise and lower the top or the hammer. Apparently the top hammer and the thump 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 of the engine could be heard for a long way away.
Right, we made it to the Hatton Locks cafe. We've got a hot chocolate. You've got a mocha.
Lovely mocha.
Well, it was needed.
It was nick of time though, they were shutting up.
Yeah, they were.
They were just starting to sweep the floor and close down. It was, oof. Karen managed to use the powder room. Don't think there was any powdering that went on. But anyway, coming up next, we are going to do the Clifton Suspension Bridge. Yep. We're going to go to Stratford-upon-Avon and do the Stratford-upon-Avon Basin, bit of the Warwickshire Avon, little bit Stratford-upon-Avon Canal. And you want to go do tunnel, don't you?
I want to go and do the Harecastle Tunnel.
Harecastle Tunnel.
Apparently there's a ghost in there.
There's a ghost in there. Well, we're not going to become ghost hunters. We're not.
Maybe.
No.
Please?
No. Oh, maybe. Probably not, though. We're going to talk about canals, aren't we?
And ghosts.
Okay. So look, hey, thanks for watching.
And please press the like button, and will you subscribe to our channel, please?
Because if you subscribe, you get a little ping by email to say that we've put a new video up. All of you who already have will hear about this one tomorrow. Fantastic. Meanwhile, thank you very much.
Cheers.
Let's finish this and get back to a hot car.
Yep.
Oh, lovely.
That's nice.
Well, hello. Aren't you? I really wish we had something nice for you to eat.
Yeah, I'm trying to video him now as well.
Well, how about that? You just wanted to get in shot, didn't you? I'm not sure that you're on shot in the main camera. I'm pretty sure that you're not.
I got him. Wow.
Hello.